In 2011, a man stood inside a courtroom in Israel. He was asking the judge for parole. His prison record was clean. His behavior was perfect. The judge looked down at his file and denied the request. The man was sent back to his cell. 2 hours later, another man stood before the exact same judge. Same crime, same clean record. The judge looked at the file and granted him freedom. Why did one man stay in a cage while the other walked free? It had nothing to do with justice. It had nothing to do with the law. It had to do with a sandwich. The first man appeared at 11:45 a.m., right before the judge's lunch break. The second man appeared at 1:15 p.m., right after the judge had eaten. This wasn't a fluke. Researchers from Columbia University analyzed over 1,000 parole decisions. They uncovered a terrifying pattern. At the start of the day, a prisoner had a 65% chance of release. By lunchtime, that number dropped to exactly 0. Then, after a break and a meal, it shot right back up to 65%. The judge wasn't evil. The judge was just tired. Psychologists have a name for this: decision fatigue. And once you understand how it works, you will finally realize why you feel so exhausted, even on days when you do absolutely nothing. Think about your typical morning. You wake up. Do you hit snooze or get out of bed? Do you check your phone first or go to the bathroom? What shirt do you wear? What do you eat for breakfast? By the time you walk out your front door, you have already made over 100 choices. In the wild, your ancestors made maybe 3 big choices a day: where to hunt, where to sleep, who to avoid. Your brain evolved for that ancient world. It treats every single decision like a physical weight. Processing options burns glucose. It consumes actual biological energy. But you don't live in a cave anymore. You live in a world that demands 35,000 choices every single day. And your brain simply cannot handle the load. But this is just the surface. In 1998, psychologist Roy Baumeister ran a cruel experiment. He baked fresh chocolate chip cookies in a lab. He brought in a group of hungry students. Half were allowed to eat the warm cookies. The other half were told they could only eat radishes. Then he gave both groups an impossible geometry puzzle. The cookie eaters lasted 19 minutes before giving up. The radish eaters, they quit after just 8 minutes. Resisting the cookies took so much of their willpower, they had no mental energy left for the puzzle. Your brain has a built-in defense mechanism against this. When it runs out of fuel, it stops calculating. It takes the path of least resistance. For the judge in Israel, the easiest path was saying no. Saying yes means analyzing risk. It takes energy. Saying no keeps things exactly as they are: safe, easy. But for you, the path of least resistance looks different. It looks like ordering pizza instead of cooking. It looks like scrolling social media instead of reading a book. It looks like snapping at your partner over nothing. You think it's a lack of discipline. You think you're just lazy. You're not. Your prefrontal cortex is literally depleted of energy. But the worst part is yet to come, because you are not the only one who knows about this biological flaw. Corporate America knows it too, and they have weaponized it against you. Think about the layout of a modern supermarket. You walk in: produce, dairy, meat, a labyrinth of tens of thousands of items, brand A or brand B, organic or regular. By the time you reach the checkout counter, your brain is completely drained of willpower. And what is waiting for you right at the register? Candy, chocolate, magazines, impulse buys. They don't put the candy there by accident. They put it there because they know your defenses are down. They know you have no energy left to say no. But retail is just child's play. Imagine a closed-door meeting at a major tech company in Silicon Valley. Engineers are designing a new digital interface. The goal isn't to make your life easier. The goal is to maximize engagement. They realize that if they give you a choice to click next episode, you might say no and go to sleep. So they remove the choice entirely. Autoplay, infinite scroll. They eliminate the friction of decision making. They make the choice for you, and because you are already so exhausted from your day, you let them. You sink into the couch and you watch 3 more hours of a show you don't even like. This is why successful people eliminate choices. This is why Steve Jobs wore the exact same black turtleneck every single day. Why Barack Obama only wore gray or blue suits. They understood that willpower is a battery. If you drain it in the morning on clothes and breakfast, you have nothing left for the decisions that actually matter. You've been blaming yourself for years, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering why you have no self control, wondering why you feel so drained when you just sat at a desk all day. But you didn't just sit there. Your brain was running a marathon on a treadmill of micro choices, designed by a system that profits from your exhaustion. Because an exhausted population doesn't revolt, an exhausted population doesn't build, an exhausted population consumes. They buy the convenient thing, they eat the sugary thing, they click the shiny thing. You are not lazy. You are under attack. But now you see the mechanism, and once you see it, you can start building a wall. Automate the small things, wear the same clothes, eat the same breakfast, protect your morning energy like it's gold, because it is. Stop spending your willpower on things that don't matter. Save it for the choices that do. You don't need more discipline, you just need to stop playing their game. The next time you feel completely drained, don't reach for the distraction. Just rest, because your brain has finally had enough.